The lawn. It all started because of the lawn. My wife, Sarah, and I aren't exactly what you'd call meticulous gardeners. We keep things tidy, but we'd rather spend our weekends hiking than trimming the edges of our grass with scissors. Apparently, this was a capital offense in our new neighborhood, governed by the iron fist of our homeowners association. I got the call while I was in the middle of a training exercise. I'm on a SWAT team, so my days are usually a bit more intense than discussing lawn care. The call was from Sarah, and she sounded completely bewildered. "Honey, you're not going to believe this. I've been arrested." I froze. Arrested? For what? What happened? Are you okay? My mind raced through a dozen terrible scenarios. For the dandelions, she said, her voice a mix of confusion and indignation. And for arguing with the HOA guy. He put me in handcuffs. He's taking me to the HOA station. I felt my brain short-circuit. The what? Sarah. Who is this guy? Is he a real cop? He has a uniform, a badge, even a car with lights on top. It looks like a police car, just white. It says HOA enforcement on the side. That's when the first wave of pure, unadulterated rage hit me. I knew exactly who she was talking about. Mr. Henderson, the self-proclaimed community protection officer. A middle-aged guy with a military-style buzz cut and an ego the size of Texas. Deep in, leaving us passive-aggressive notes about our recycling bin placement and the height of our hedges. "Okay, listen to me," I said, my voice dangerously calm. "Where is this station?" She gave me the address. It was Henderson's own house. He had converted his garage into a makeshift office, complete with a desk, a filing cabinet, and apparently a holding cell for Dandelion. "Stay on the phone with me. I'm on my way." I ripped off my training gear, threw on my tack pants and a t-shirt, and told my unit leader I had a family emergency. The drive home was a blur. All I could think about was this wannabe cop putting his hands on my wife. The thought of her, confused and scared in some lunatic's garage, made my blood boil. I called my buddy, Detective Mark Casey, with the local PD. I explained the situation, trying to keep my voice steady. "Wait, let me get this straight," Mark said, trying not to laugh. "Henderson, the guy who calls 911 because a kid's bike is on his sidewalk? He arrested your wife?" He put her in cuffs. "Mark, he's impersonating an officer. I need you to meet me there, and I want to be on the entry team." There was a pause. "You know, I can't officially let you do that, man. It's a conflict of interest." "I'm not asking officially," I said. "I'm asking as a friend whose wife is being held captive by a power-tripping mall cop." Another pause. "All right, I'll pull a warrant for unlawful imprisonment and impersonating a police officer. Get a couple of patrol cars rolling. Meet you there in 20. And, wear your vest." When I pulled up, 2 patrol cars were already there. Lights off, parked down the street. Mark was waiting for me. He handed me a spare vest. "You ready to do this by the book?" he asked, with a knowing look. "Absolutely," I said, strapping on the vest. "By the book." The rest of my team was in our group chat, and let's just say they were very invested. The messages were flying. "Get him. For the dandelions. This is better than training." We approached Henderson's house. Through the garage window, I could see him sitting behind his desk, puffed up with self-importance, while Sarah sat on a metal folding chair, looking more annoyed than scared now. That was my wife. Mark knocked on the front door. "Mr. Henderson, this is the police. Open up." We heard some shuffling, then Henderson's voice, dripping with arrogance. "This is a secured HOA facility. What is the nature of your visit?" Mark didn't miss a beat. "We have a warrant for your arrest. Open the door, or we will force entry." A moment of silence, and then the door creaked open. Henderson stood there in his ridiculous uniform, a cheap-looking badge pinned to his chest. He looked from Mark to the other officers, and then his eyes landed on me. His face went pale. "You have no jurisdiction here," he stammered. "This is private HOA business." "Tell that to the judge," Mark said, stepping aside. That was my cue. I stepped forward, my face completely neutral. "Mr. Henderson," I said, my voice low. "You're under arrest for kidnapping and impersonating an officer of the law." His jaw dropped. He looked from me to my vest, then back to my face, the recognition dawning. I had the immense pleasure of being the one to put the handcuffs on him. They were real ones this time. As I cuffed him, I leaned in and whispered, "You have the right to remain silent. I strongly suggest you use it." We walked him out past his fake police car, which was getting towed. The neighbors were all peeking out their windows, their faces a mixture of shock and primera abito, say a little bit of glee. Turns out, nobody liked Mr. Henderson. Sarah ran out and gave me a huge hug. "You know," she said, pulling back with a grin. For a second there, I was worried I'd have to use my one phone call on a bail bondsman for a weed-related offense. I laughed, the tension finally leaving my body. Not on my watch. Back at the real station, Henderson was a blubbering mess. His whole empire of fake authority came crashing down. His garage was filled with fake citations, homemade uniforms, and a detailed operations manual for his one-man police force. It would have been comical if it wasn't so dangerous. The next day, our lawn was still covered in dandelions. But as I looked at them, I couldn't help but smile. They weren't just weeds anymore. They were symbols of freedom, and a reminder that sometimes you have to fight for your right to be a little bit imperfect. Our HOA has been surprisingly quiet ever since. I guess word got around, you don't mess with the dandelion defenders. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.